Hey guys, this is Olivia from Rose Petal Writings, and welcome to Rose Petal Musings. Hello! Welcome to Rose Petal Musings. I'm here with Hannah Middaugh, with Hannah Middaugh's Photos. So, for those who don't know, Hannah and I went to college together, and we were both in the English department, and both of us dealt a lot with music. And so today we're going to talk about, the effect music has on the brain and on the writing process. So Hannah, do you want to start?
Sure. As a person whose life literally revolves around music, I am not musically inclined at all. I don't have kind of talent with music even in the general sense. And a bit. But I am constantly going to concerts, constantly listening to different music. I'm sorry, my cat is yelling at me.
That is Schecter.
Yes, this is Anyway, music is just a really big part of my life. It helps me a lot mentally. And I know, I'm not alone in that. So my big dream was to write for a music magazine, and I still am hoping for that one day. But yeah, it's definitely a big part of my life, and I know it's a big part of a lot of other people's lives, and it's just something I've always been passionate about, so I'm always going to be wanting to write about it.
Cool. And as you know, obviously from knowing me, music is a huge part of my life. I was in choir since elementary school, and I took music lessons at one point. I just can't really play an instrument to save my life reliably.
Same.
But similarly to you, even though I'm broke, I can't go to concerts all the time. But I do listen to a lot of music. Music is almost always on in the background of my life, especially when I'm writing. I don't know about you, but I love my playlists. And so I have 3 kind of works in progress that I'm working on at the moment, and each one has a playlist. Except for the third one. I don't think I made one for the third one.
I've been wanting to make a playlist for my works in progress, but I'm sitting there going, God, that's so much extra work. So I just kind of put whatever I'm in the mood to listen to on.
And that depends with the day too, even the hour. Yeah. Schecter says him too.
Yes. Go be free. Stop yelling at me.
That's music too. It's music to our ears as pet owners. So I have a study here from Harvard Medical School from their neurobiology department. And this is actually a very recent study that kind of deals with how people flock to music, especially during the pandemic. They were, currently, I guess we can say. But
yeah,
they flock to music because it helps. And they're calling it the healing power of music. So let me see if I can find where they first put his name. Silbersberg. Where is it? Okay, so Dr. David Silbersberg. I probably really pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce names unless they're extremely Dutch. But Dr. Silbersberg says that changes in brain circuitry and connectivity suggest opportunities to activate certain regions to promote healing. And so there is already a lot of therapeutic use for music. I have a friend who went to Temple for music therapy, and I know it myself. So there's already a lot known about the therapeutic power of music for patients with dementia, depression, and other neurological conditions. And a lot of people use it for Parkinson's because it helps them move and keep a rhythm.
I never even thought about that.
I didn't either. I just read that and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Learned something new today.
Yeah, and people with short-term memory loss from Alzheimer's often recognize familiar songs like Happy Birthday because, quote, that memory is encoded into their brain's long-term memory, according to Dr. Haddad. Yeah, Dr. Nikki Haddad.
Interesting. I know I mostly, like, music has always been like a big part of my life, always. And I attempted to learn the trumpet. Attempt being keyword. I was okay with it. I was okay. And then middle school happened and I got braces and it was bye-bye trumpet. And then in high school, I took guitar lessons. And I did pretty well. I rocked out Can You Feel the Love Tonight and Penny Boy and American Pie. Like those are like loved it. But as someone who hates practicing things, keeping up knowing how to play any of those was a struggle. So I have like a much better appreciation of everyone who actually keeps it up and like pursues awesome careers with it. But like my mom, we grew up in church and he was always a part of like the music group or the choir or whatever. And because if she wasn't involved in it, I was involved in it. So I did have like a little bit of like a singing thing, but I never had solos or anything like that. And I mostly tried to stay in the back. I wasn't super. Like I'm not terrible, but I'm not great. Like I'm somewhere in the middle of like, don't let her sing and like, she can sing this, that. But but I can see why a lot of people get something out of music, especially with like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. Like that's giving them something to like keep their brain going.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm very similar because when I was going to church, I was often involved with the choir and everything. And even though I'm so uncoordinated, I couldn't do like the little dances or whatever that they had going. I tried so hard. They would have me like spin around and I'd almost fall off the stage. It's like, no, thank you. Don't make me move. Just let me sit here and do my thing. But I have tried to learn piano. I have tried to learn guitar. You baffled me with the trumpet thing. I never expected trumpet.
No one ever does.
Like of all things, you went to brass.
Yeah, I wanted to originally learn to play the drums, but as a fifth grader, with already had like my scoliosis showing its head, carrying a giant drum back and forth from school into a tiny little bus and back home, even though it was like a 2-minute drive, that was still a lot of like carrying it back and forth. And I just decided we're gonna go with the trumpet. I don't know why, but my brain went, yes. I don't know what my fifth grade brain was thinking, but
it makes for a good story now.
I know. My band teacher is always like, are you sure you want to quit? I'm like, Mr. Lowen, my heart's not in this. We both know it's not happening. I'll come visit. I don't want in this anymore.
Yeah, no, I was never musically talented as far as instruments, but I did get involved with the choir and everything, and I kind of grew up with the choir. I did that at Wilson. I even joined the a cappella group. I wound up running the a cappella group because everybody else graduated and left it to me.
I love that.
They're like, here, we're graduating. You're in charge of the a cappella group now. And I'm like, wait, I still barely know what a cappella is.
Oh, yeah. My goodness. Make up your mind.
But yes, as far as writing, like we have these great playlists that we make. We spend hours like catering them to what would inspire us for the story. I know for the epic that I'm working on, which is set in 1980. Schechter really wants to be part of this.
Yes, he does. And hey, he is named after a guitar brand.
That is true. There we go. He's relevant.
Yes, he is. Back to eating. Anyway.
But I have it set in like 1985 London, so I'm like, okay. So to make this playlist to inspire me, you know, my main character is obviously a little bit pop punk, you know, as denoted by my Simple Plan t-shirt. Of course, I'm going to go with pop punk of the era, but I had no idea what that was because I wasn't born in the 80s. I had no idea what I was talking about. And so I started doing a lot of research, and I found, you know, Sex Pistols, who I kind of already knew about. I found Joan Jett, who I obviously know and love. Like, yes. And I found so many others, including like The Damned and Susie and the Banshees. And I just made this big playlist of all these songs. Granted, I wound up liking all of these songs, so it certainly helped. But
yeah,
what really helps me is kind of taking songs from a certain era or with like a certain feeling, and that kind of helps me get started with writing so that I can kind of, I don't know, like get in the mood, I suppose we could call it.
Yeah, that works.
Without, you know, bringing any Marvin Gaye into it.
Interesting switch. Goodness.
Oh my god. I don't think I'd be able to take it seriously if I was trying to write like a sex scene or something and I was trying to listen to Marvin Gaye. I couldn't do it. Just because.
I listen to Charlie Puth's and Meghan Trainor's Marvin Gaye song.
Oh god.
It's about like people having sex. So that would make a little bit more sense. You're going to listen to Marvin Gaye to the sex scene.
I was gonna say, there's that, and then trying to actually listen to like the traditional, I suppose, sex scene songs, because they've been so warped by culture and society that it's funny when you hear them now. It's like satire.
Yeah.
You hear it and you're just like, oh, for the love of God, here we go.
The movie 365 Days. Have you watched that?
No.
Okay, well, it's based on a book. And basically this guy is like head of the Italian mafia or something. And he sees this woman one day on a vacation and decides that's his. And basically kidnaps her a couple years later. And basically goes, we have a year to get you to fall in love with me. And if you're not, then I'll let you go type thing. Like, it's a really bad cliche Italian movie.
50 Shades of Italy.
Basically, yeah. But there's a scene where they're on a boat and they actually get it on for the first time on the boat. And there's a song that plays and it's like, I see red, and I don't remember the name of the song or anything about it. But for a long time, that song was popular on TikTok. And I'm going, where is this from that everyone's making this so popular? And our friend Adrian had me watch that movie the one time she came over to the house. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what that's from? And I just started busting up laughing through the entire scene going, this is ridiculous. Like, why? So now every time I hear that song, I just think about how terrible that movie is.
Well, yeah, that's a perfect example of how music can be like really help you focus and kind of keep you grounded. And music can also be very distracting and kind of veer you off course. because you make a memory associated with a certain song. And that's why a lot of people will use classical to study, because there aren't any words to kind of get tripped up on. And it just makes it easier to focus on the actual study material. And a lot of classic songs you already know, so you can sit there and think about them and then recall the information with them.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against listening to classical music, especially with studying. I have gotten to the point where if I really need to focus on something and I don't want a lot of music distracting me, I play this playlist on Spotify that I think it was Pure Noise Records or something. I believe they made it, but it's lo-fi pop punk.
Nice.
And I was just like, what? No way, this is a thing? And so now, like, if I really need to focus, or even if I just need something to fall asleep to, I'll play it. And it's not just like pop punk songs. It also has like a weird remix of Star Wars. It has what's the name of that movie? Not movie, TV show. Avatar. It has like an Avatar like song on it, and it like it's basically like Sokka saying goodbye to
UA.
Yeah, UA. It's basically like that and through it, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. But like, it's a fantastic playlist. I recommend it. But I would listen to full out albums on repeat while studying, and especially if it was a test.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'd be like, okay, what song was I listening to when I read this?
Yeah.
And I'd be like trying to like bring back the memory, and it did help. But when writing papers, it was just kind of like, yeah, I got this. So, like, I just need something to pump me up. So like, it wasn't like classical's not really my thing. Maybe like lo-fi if I really absolutely need to focus. But other than that, I'll stick with
Full disclosure, my Spotify Wrapped this year, my top song was on a sleep playlist that I had.
Oh, number one playlist was sleepy.
I would listen to it like every night to fall asleep to. And so they're like, this is your most played song. And I'm like, shit.
My most played song was Perfume by Austin and Dwayne. Recommend it. But yeah, my Spotify rap got weird. It was all over the place.
Yeah, mine was definitely all over the place. You can tell I've been growing up listening to music, because you'll see classical, you'll see Broadway, you'll see pop punk, you'll see classic rock, you'll see alternative rock. I see metal pop up on there. And it's just kind of all over the place. And don't get me wrong, I love it, because I can literally go in and be like, okay, I'm feeling, I need something to kind of pump me up, but I'm not like angry. I don't need like angry pump up music. So I'll go to like Broadway or something, or I'll go to Disney, because Disney's actually really good at that. Disney, sponsor us.
Yeah, Disney, please.
I highly doubt that. I don't think they're in the business of sponsoring people, but
except for themselves.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a business, but
yeah.
But when it comes to writing, usually I'll sit down, and most of the time, weirdly enough, I'll choose pop punk to write to. I don't know why. It just kind of like zeroes me in.
Because it has all the emotions that we want to use.
That's not very good for our writing. That's a lot of angst.
Depending on it, yes. Depending on the song and the band, mostly. They have some good, like, yeah songs. So, yes, Simple Plan always knows how to. But did you see on the Spotify Wrapped where they were talking about, like, did they do, like, a main character thing for you?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, that was like their theme.
Yeah.
That was like their theme this year, and I thought that was really cool. I got one where I was confessing my love in the rain, and you're gonna love what song it was. Go ahead and guess.
I don't know.
It's a Disney song, I'll give you that. And it's like the only one you know.
I know more Disney stuff. I don't know.
It was I Won't Say I'm in Love.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's my jam, okay? That song's always been my jam.
That was the song they had my character confessing my love for the rain to.
I love it. I want to be like, hold on. I'm gonna bring up my Spotify Wrap because I forget what mine was. Here we go.
I can even tell you my aura too.
Yeah, my aura was like orange and blue for like and something else, and I'm like, apparently it was my boyfriend's too.
Well, I mean, mine was like mostly blue with a little bit of orange, and that's because it was angst and bold.
That was mine, yeah. That was mine.
And apparently Levi's too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Come on. I'm trying to figure out what it was. I know, like, darn it. Yeah.
It's just not working for you today.
It's really not. If 2021 was a movie, you were the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's a movie without soundtrack?
Delightful, yes.
The opening credits would have been Perfume by Dwayne and Austin.
Yeah, I even forget what the song was called, but it was like the first one of my sleep playlist.
The song you play as you face off against your rival dance crew apparently is Sucker by the Jonas Brothers. The song playing as I defeat the ancient vengeful spirit is Buzzkill by Mothika.
Oof.
I recommend her.
I think Seth got that one, but I didn't get that one. I didn't have any revenge plot in mind.
That's true. Well, you do listen to a lot of Broadway and Disney, so that might be like why. But I listen to a lot of like angry music.
I listen to a lot of angry music too, is the thing. I guess for 2021, I just didn't. I just wasn't that angry.
Like, I'm like the Hulk. I'm always angry. Oh my.
You're the main character. You did what you had to do. And then we go to, well, everyone was trying to figure out what NFTs were. You had one song on repeat. That's what it was. It was the song. My top song of the year was Virgo 1, 2 by, oh, come on. Show me again. Show me again. Oof. That's not what I wanted. This is, yes, show the cat again. Distract them with the cat.
Okay, how cute he is.
And I'm so sorry for people listening on Spotify, but he's so cute.
I guess you'll just have to watch the video.
Okay, so Virgo 1, 2 by Illuvium.
I've never heard of that.
It's instrumental, which would make sense. Oh, no, wait, I do get it to defeat an ancient vengeful spirit. To the background of Misery Business by Paramore.
I love it.
The song playing as I score the game-winning point at the buzzer is Take a Hint from Notorious.
Oh my lord. Schechter, please.
There you go, buddy. Oh my god, that's beautiful.
I think we're getting on a tangent though about Spotify Wrap now.
We are. But I just had to bring that up because it cracked me up.
I'm being used as a pincushion right now.
Oof. Sounds like somebody needs scratching towers.
Oh, the thing of it is, we have a scratching tower attached to my desk.
And your leg is conveniently close by, yes.
He just wants to be a big baby.
Oh, he is a big baby. Look at him.
Oh. He's the baby.
Artemis is just independent.
For the most part, yeah. She's actually pretty, like, independent cat. Whereas this one's, like, screaming for attention most of the day.
Artemis is like, I don't need no human. And Schechter's just walking around like, Mom! Mom!
Oh yeah, literally, you leave a room when he's sleeping, and he'll just start screaming. Left him. He has attachment things already, and that's like 3 weeks.
Okay, we are getting on another tangent. But yes, we're very easily distracted people, and so music does a great job of helping us focus and keeping us from being distracted by adorable kittens. But yeah, with this study from Harvard Medical School, you can kind of see that music not only helps heal you, but not only helps you focus, but helps heal you as well. I could do with a little more music in my life.
Always.
But yes, as far as the writing process, what would you say is your favorite song to listen to while you write?
Ooh. I think it has to depend on what I'm writing, what mood I'm in, and like who I'm like really into listening to at the moment.
Sorry.
Good. I started writing a book for National Novel Writing Month. Didn't finish it, unfortunately, because I just kept getting distracted by other things.
I mean, that's more than I did. I didn't even try to do NaNoWriMo.
I mean, for like the first like 3 or 4 days, I was like constantly writing at least 2,000 words. I was like, I'm gonna finish this before the end of November. And I got a migraine the one day and just couldn't look at the computer. And then the next day I was like, I gotta catch up on everything I didn't do yesterday. So it just kept piling up and piling up and piling up, and I never finished it. But like the story is about basically if Neverland was a real place. And like kind of like a different history of Peter Pan somehow.
Ooh.
Kind of like what they did with Peter Pan on Once Upon a Time.
Ha! Good plug, good plug.
I'm almost almost through that season now. But we might have to talk about Once Upon a Time for my podcast.
Yes. Which, speaking of, did you already start your podcast, or are you looking to start it?
I made 1 episode so far about the Great. And it's basically just me summarizing it. So I need to actually like figure out what I'm doing with it. But yeah, it's there.
So go ahead, do your plug. What is it called, and where can you find it?
You can find it on Spotify and Anchor. Just let me figure out what it's called because I forget.
That's why I made mine really simple.
Mine's Hannah's Musings, which I kind of took a idea from you, if that's okay.
I love it. I'm so flattered.
Because I figured, like, can't do, like, Hannah's thoughts is stupid, and, like, Hannah's ranting. Like, that just makes me sound like I'm going to be ranting the entire time. You never know, I might be. But, like, yeah, so Hannah's Musings on Spotify and Anchor right now, and it's just about The Great, Hulu's original The Great. I basically just summarized it, and then basically was just like, this is an amazing show, I need people to talk about it with me, watch it. But yeah, so I'm almost like, I wanted to kind of take a different approach to Peter Pan, because I love Peter Pan. Love Peter Pan. And I figured, like, what if I, like, changed it, made it kind of like a modern day, like, someone dreamed of Neverland when they were little, and, like, Peter became her, like, imaginary friend, but he's actually real. And they go from just, like, her visiting Neverland in her dreams to him actually coming to her house and, like, interacting with her. And the entire time she's like going, Peter Pan's my imaginary friend.
Mm-hmm.
And like her parent, like there was a terrible accident and her parents are like terrible people, which is cliche. And I'm thinking about redoing that whole part, but or redoing it somehow. But basically she runs away to Neverland with Peter Pan. and the rest of the Lost Boys. And I kind of made Rufio like one of the like big Lost Boys. And I brought
Tabasco.
And I brought Felix back from like Once Upon a Time, kind of like or somehow. But then I also like mixed in a few other people, and I kind of put like Wendy and her brothers kind of like destroyed Peter in a way, because like when they basically like Wendy was Peter Pan's like first like, I don't even know where I was going with that, but basically she told Peter like, I'm done believing in you. And crushed him. So Tinkerbell made this like, I'm not ever bringing anyone back for you unless they're like unless they're a boy who needs help. And so like that's kind of where I left it, and I'm just kind of like I need to like, I want to finish it, but anyway, backtracking.
It was relevant. What do you listen to when you write that?
I found a Neverland playlist on Spotify.
Ooh.
And it was actually kind of interesting how people picked some of the songs, because I was like, yeah, I can see this. But at the same time, I'm going, this Taylor Swift song? Like, I don't know. Like, I want to go out of my way to actually make a playlist for like all my different story ideas. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, going through all of my Spotify songs and building a whole playlist. Like, that's gonna be so time consuming. And I'm just kind of like, I want it done now. So I like go and find pre-made ones, and then I'm just kind of like, this song? But okay.
Perks of making your own playlist. You like every single song you put on there.
No, but like even like some of those like pre-made playlists, they actually open my eyes to like different songs I would never would have thought of, or like different artists where I was kind of like, I like this. So it does help a little bit. At the same time, it also makes me think like I forget what Taylor Swift song it was, and I was like, this Taylor Swift song? I think it was like oh crap, I think it was like 22. And I'm
22?
Like, yeah, I was like, why would you put 22 in a Neverland playlist? Like,
well, here's the thing. She even has a song where she mentions Neverland, I'm pretty sure, from one of her early albums, like back when she was still just doing country, because that was when I started listening to her. I'm old.
Same. Me more so.
Not by much.
Her first album, I believe, came out my 5th grade year.
That wasn't Fearless. Fearless is the one where she's got like the big purple dress, right?
Let's Speak Now.
That's the one that I was thinking of.
Are you thinking of Enchanted?
Yes, I think so. Because I'm pretty sure she mentions Neverland in that one.
I don't know. It's been forever.
But still, like, of all the songs, she has some more like...
Yeah, like, I would understand Out of the Woods because, you know, Neverland has woods.
Woods, it's like a forest.
Yeah, and I would think of, like, I can't, like, think right now of just, like, different songs, but 22? Like, it's about never growing up, not becoming 22 years old.
Like, 22 is actively about progressing your age, which does not happen in Neverland. Oh, my. I guess if it inspires them, if they're like, 30 and they're like, oh, 22.
Maybe.
But I'm 23, so.
25.
Oh, man. So I'm going to cut us off here because we're starting to go over. We're probably closer like 45 minutes to almost an hour, which is impressive. Because when I tried to do this on my own, I couldn't get anywhere near an hour just because I don't talk that much.
But yeah, that's big. I actually found this when I was like recording that first episode. I was just like, this would be so much easier if I had someone to like bounce ideas off of, because there are like 4 hours long of people just
back and forth.
And I was like, up. But like, it's so much easier to just bounce ideas off of other people to keep the conversation going and keeps it interesting too. So yeah, I get it.
Like, even with the podcast I listened to the most this year, Morbid, it's Ash and Elena just going back and forth with each other. And I don't know how Elena does it, but Elena will take her like little mini that's supposed to be 30 minutes and do it in an hour. And I'm just like, and they sound very similar when they're recorded. Like, they've brought this up before. People get them confused all the time as to who's talking. Sometimes I can pick it out, sometimes I can't. But even then, it's just a slightly different voice to hear, which can help keep interest and keep it going.
Yes.
Instead of, listening to one of us ramble for 30 minutes about something.
Yeah. Yeah. But that whole first episode for mine's just a mess. Just like, oh God. And I was like, I wouldn't want to listen to myself for a half hour.
No. I wrote like a whole, if you listen to the last one, you can hear me explain this. I wrote a whole like script and I'm like, okay, this will easily kill half an hour and still be interesting. 10 minutes and I was through it, and it was like, I still have time to go.
Jeez. I feel like we mostly just talked about music and not really about the writing process.
Well, you can kind of see music at work. Music kind of sparks conversation, and through that conversation, through that dialogue, you can bounce ideas off each other, because talking about music led to the Neverland playlist, which led to your project.
True, which I really need to work on that. I want to finish it so bad. Like, that's the reason I picked that story as what I want to do for National Novel Writing.
NaNoWriMo, yeah.
Like, I like wish my ideas, like I have like the solid plot and everything in my head. I just wish that I could just think of it and it just write itself.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
God. Yeah, and I also have like this whole other idea of like Greek gods and like the four horsemen and like all this other things, like Santa and all this stuff. Like, I have this idea where I'm just kind of like, what about their kids?
Okay, so like a Descendants, Good Omens kind of thing.
Sort of, yeah. But like, I have like these amazing ideas. I'm sitting like, ooh, this would make a cool idea. Like, this would be a cool story. But then I'm sitting there and I'll stare at the page and I'll just be like,
it's just not going.
No, like, I just wish I could just take my ideas, shove them on a piece of paper and be like, it's done.
Just let them go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be free.
Yeah, I wish.
Oh, if only magic were real, then we could do that.
Right.
But for now, the magic is in the music.
Yes, magic is in the music.
And so I'm going to wrap this up by saying I can be found at rosepetalwritings.com. You can find me on Twitter at rosepetalwriter. I can be found on Instagram at olivia.rosepetalwritings. Am I forgetting anything? My Facebook page, Rose Petal Writings. And you can email me at olivia.rosepetalwritings@gmail.com. And how can you contact Hannah?
You can find me on hannahmiddaughphotos.wordpress.com. I'm still in the process of buying my own domain name. You can find me on Twitter as Hannah Middaugh, Instagram as Hannah Abigail 96, Facebook under Hannah Middaugh Photos. So if any of y'all in Cleveland are listening, my photography packages are 25% off till Christmas. I think that's about it.
I think so. Email?
Email is hannahmiddaughphotos@gmail.com.
Ta-da! And since you plugged your sale, I'm going to plug mine real quick. So Rose Petal Writings, my freelance writing business, currently has a holiday sale going on in conjunction with Hannah Middaugh Photos, where I am doing 30% off of my writing packages and 15% off of any other kind of commission. So if you do like a solo commission where you just want me to write something, you'll get 15% off. And that is all. Thank you so much for joining me, Hannah.
Oh,
This was fun time.
do this when I finish Once Upon a Time.
Yes, absolutely. So you'll be able to find me on Hannah's Musings.
Yes.
This has been Rose Petal Musings, and we will see you later.